You only need plain paper to make a paper plane. Welcome to Philosophy.
Hey.
I'm your co-host, Ross Doling, and you're my co-host, Ryan Parmenter.
That's correct. Hi. Hello.
Today, we plan on talking about music, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Thyroid Thursday.
The best day of the week.
Yeah. So stay tuned. And we'll see you later.
I want to do another segment of either Ryan or Ross or both of them show the other person a picture on their cell phone and
try to describe it.
Yeah. And doing some yes and for you.
Oh. Well, I'm supposed to say and.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And?
I don't know if we're doing that right. Anyway, I want to do that. So let's make sure to do that.
Sounds good. Let's hit it. Went a little too hard there.
I'm afraid we maybe deafened our listeners.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear whatever we're going to do anyway.
Yeah, we're doing them a favor.
I'd rather be deaf than listen to this podcast.
Oh, yike. That's a funny thing. I'm going to tangent right off the bat. What do you think about the humor involved in, sometimes I like to say yike instead of yikes, or zoink instead of zoinks, or even a rare gadzook instead of gadzooks? Any thoughts?
I think if I heard that, I'd chuckle.
I don't understand where the humor in it is coming from,
Yeah.
just taking off an S.
Yeah, it's just unexpected.
Yeah.
It could be like, well, it's not a bunch of zooks. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's one zook.
One gadzook.
Like, if you give a shit or a crap or a care.
Yeah. A damn.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where it's like, well, like, that only warrants one zook. But then when you say zooks or gadzooks or zoinks,
Yeah.
like, how many is that?
It's pretty vague. Would the solution be to be like 5 zoinks?
Yeah. Or you could say zoink, 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 zoink.
Or I do give 4 dams.
Yeah.
I care a lot.
That'd be kind of weird, like, if you, like, trying to, like, express how much you care, and you're, like, trying to, like, compete with somebody how much you care about, like, something or someone else.
Mm.
It's like, oh yeah, well, I give 7 dams. Oh, well, I give 8.
Well, I give an entire hoot.
Then, like, an auctioneer comes up. We got 8 dams over here on the left.
Oh, man. That's good. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
But where else could that go? I say sometimes like, thanks 2 million if I'm feeling really generous.
Wow.
You know?
One thing, I don't mean to
That's pretty much all I had.
but one thing I've been thinking about for a while is how the phrases giving a crap and taking a crap are, like, should be switched around. Because if you don't give a crap, that means you're not really, like, taking anyone's crap, right? You don't care. So I'm not going to take whatever,
Yeah.
like,
I don't take
what's
that
the
crap.
word? Oh my God.
I don't take. No, I'm spacing
Criticism?
on it too. Sure.
Yeah. Like I don't.
I'm not taking any of your guff.
Yeah, and then when you like poop,
yeah,
which is usually like taking a crap, you're like giving it into the toilet and the water.
That's a point my dad always makes. Like I'll be like, I'm gonna go take a dump, and he'll be like, don't you mean leave a dump?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, God, Dad.
I like leave better than give.
Leave a dump. I don't leave a damn. Interesting.
I'm leaving all my dams for something else.
I'm saving up these dams so I can give them later.
I built a dam to keep all my other dams from overflowing into all this other
it's a damn dam
territory.
That reminds me, one time so there was like this bit in the Percy Jackson books where they were like talking about, they were at the Hoover Dam, I think, and they were talking about the dam memorabilia and the dam T-shirts.
Yeah,
it was kind of funny.
Some like they did that on Vacation too. I think.
But I read it and my sister read it, and we never brought it up to our mom because why would we?
Yeah.
But then my brother read it and brought it up to our mom, and then she came to us and was like, so you read this book with the dam in it? And I was like, hey, it's a book. I didn't write the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. How do you feel about birth order stuff? Like middle child, youngest kind of stuff. Do you think that's affected you? Being the oldest?
I don't know. I mean, I do think it has, but I don't know how.
Interesting. I think for me, a lot of people kind of bag on being the middle child, like, oh, it kind of sucks because nobody loves you.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never seen it that way. It's like, I love it because you have more freedom. Nobody's like always peering over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I heard something about, like, I think this is kind of true for my family, where, like, my youngest sister, at, like, she's, like, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if my parents are just kind of, like, fed up with, like, worrying about kids. It's like all the rest of us are, like, at least, like my youngest sister is 9, and the second youngest sibling is my 16-year-old sister. So it's like a pretty big gap.
Yeah. I remember, I'm pretty sure, when your youngest sister was either newly born or maybe was just born, because we've known each other since 7th grade.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird.
That is pretty weird. I always think of it as like high school.
Yeah.
Like even like junior year of high school is like when we've known each other.
Yeah. But we were on junior high basketball together.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
It's kind of interesting how, like, even though we knew each other that long,
yeah,
I feel like we grew like a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah. Like
pretty recently.
Yeah.
Relative to how long we've known each other.
I think senior year was big.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. Wonder like why specifically that is. I wonder if there's like an event or something.
Maybe like, I don't know, the friend pool kind of shallowed up. You know, like as the years went on, more and more people left our school, and then there was like 20 of us, so we all kind of got pretty tight.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's pretty close.
I think like, what do you like? I feel like we hung out at Panera a lot, trying to like study with a study group.
Yeah, that was AP Physics.
Yeah.
C.
And I always felt like it's like you and me were like distracted the entire time.
Yeah. Did you drop that class at semester?
No,
No, I did.
stuck with it because I was thinking that I like kind of wanted to be like an engineer or something at that time.
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was even like in my head at all.
Dang.
And like what's funny is like people like there's certain people that I say like, oh, I'm studying English now. And they're like, wow, that's surprising.
Yeah.
And it like for me it seems like the most obvious like when I tell people that, like, or at least when I realize that's what I'm doing, it's like, well, of course.
Yeah.
And then it's weird to get like the opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it makes sense to me. Do you know Noah Klemp is an English major?
Really?
Yeah.
See, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I would have thought he'd be like a music major or something.
I think
Or an
maybe
English
he's
major.
a double major.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like it'd
at
be
least
one
English
of those two.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, speaking of music majors.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I completely forgot.
Let's talk about the philosophy of music. Man, honestly, I'm still kind of reveling in that segue. That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
let's take a moment.
Yeah. I didn't even register the segue until like maybe a couple seconds too late, but it was still there. I think it still landed.
I feel like that's like a real life. Like you see someone on a Segway,
Yeah.
you just kind of like walk by it, and then you're like, wait, is that a Segway in real life?
How many people riding Segways do you think you've seen in your life?
One at the most, and I could be making that up.
Yeah, I think one at the most for me. I don't know if I've ever seen it. One time, my family went to Branson, and it's a whole weird long story of how weird that trip was. But one of the things we tried to do was go to like, I don't really know what it was supposed to be, but it was like Segways on like maybe what are those carts that you know, the mini cart that drive go-kart. That's the one. On like maybe like a track, like a go-kart track, and you can just do it with Segways. But I don't really.
Wow.
I'm not.
You race or you just
we didn't.
you just ride them?
It ended up getting rained out or something like that. They weren't open the day we tried, so I don't know what it was actually gonna be. But that's what I was picturing in my head: go-kart track for Segways. But yeah, then I would have seen a lot more Segways in my life. People riding Segways.
You know, like what's interesting about Segways?
I know one thing.
At least to me, this is interesting.
Yeah.
How, like, I've never seen them. I've only seen them in one size.
Huh.
Like, you have to be a certain height
Yeah.
to ride one.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And like a skateboard, I guess that's not a skateboard.
I think it's a short, long board. I don't really know what it is. I don't ride it enough.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Well, like, anyway, skateboards come in one size.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have, like, that doesn't really dictate the size of the rider. But a bike, the different sizes, you have to get a bike to fit you.
Here's the idea. What do you think about like a roller coaster, and like you know how there's like height and weight restrictions? Why not make like some small cars and then like some big cars, and a bunch of like medium-sized cars?
Well, do you
and
think
then everybody can go?
Would those all be in the same train?
Why not?
I feel like that would mess with the physics of it.
I guess you're suggesting there's like a fat train for big people and like one for a bunch of kids. That'd be interesting.
Well, because like even with the same size of the car, there's different sizes of people in the cars.
Yeah.
So Like, I wonder what the difference would be to have different sizes of cars. And then have like, you have a big car and a big person.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the next car is a little car with little people.
Yeah.
Like, children. Or little people.
No, I think, that's PC. We're good.
I feel like that would be... Like, that's a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Versus, like, the same car size,
Mm-hmm.
but with different sizes of people. That's not as big of a difference.
That's true. Can I circle back to when you asked me if I knew something interesting about Segways, and I said I know one thing?
Yeah.
I want to say that thing.
Okay.
So the guy who invented Segways died because he was riding a Segway next to a cliff, and he just fell off.
I read that.
And yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
I wonder, like, why? Like, what the context of that is.
I bet he was listening to music.
Oh my god. Okay, we'll talk about music.
I thought about that Segway.
It's enough already.
Okay. So you had made an interesting point. OC off mic. I don't know. About backlash against like techno and electronic music. Do you want to get into that?
Sure. I feel like there's a lot of, maybe not a lot, but like, I've heard people say to me at least that like techno music or electronic music, or even like someone making something in GarageBand, it's like kind of like discredits I don't know. Like, I want to be careful about how I put this, because
this is a safe space.
Well, I don't want to like state a certain point and then like then we have to like talk about that when really I mean like something else. But
okay,
I don't know. So like I guess like there's a couple of things. Like, one, it discredits the talent of musicians. And it takes away, like, I think I said soul of music.
Yeah.
But I disagree with that. Especially the soul of music thing. And you're like a music scholar.
Yeah, I'm a music major right now. Yeah.
So you hang out with musicians, or you don't hang out with them necessarily, but
no, I do.
You're around them.
All of my roommates currently either are or were music majors.
Wow.
So
do you know what their opinions are?
I know one of them, Steven. He was a music production and engineering major. He like makes this so-called electronic music.
Wow.
And so I think the point that stood out to me from when we were talking a second ago was that a lot of the backlash we might hear, you were just curious who that's coming from, and maybe if it was not like musical artists, like not, I guess artists, that shows that those people do understand the value of making music, and it doesn't matter necessarily the avenue about which you go.
Yeah. Like here we were playing the goat hooves.
Yeah.
Before.
Goat hooves and tambourine.
And I'm wondering if like the people that were like goat hoof purists tried to criticize the tambourine, because they kind of have like similar things. It's like, oh, like shake it and it like makes a like this is more of a rattling sound, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's like a cymbal, like a hi-hat type of thing, almost.
Do you hear more pitch coming out of this tambourine than those hoofs? Like, I feel like this has a more distinct pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah, like I feel like the goat hoof people would say, like that's like you shouldn't be able to like use something that makes pitch. You should be able to like create it yourself or create like a vibe or like control this enough and manipulate it in a way that like the listener can pick up on like a feeling or something. And then like I guess if I put it that way, I can kind of see where the people who say that like electronic music and technology in music kind of takes away the soul of music. I can see that. I don't know if I agree with it, but
yeah, I think this is a point you also had, is any effort to like limit the definition of music might be itself taking away the soul of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was well put.
Oh, thanks.
I was thinking, like if you think to like, maybe like before there were even instruments or anything, people are just like banging on stuff or like patting their knees or clapping their hands.
Yeah.
I feel like the value in like doing that and seeing that is the feeling you get. And like you can like the good clappers are like really enthusiastic and they're really feeling the clap. And then like when you're watching that, you're like, holy crap.
They're good
and
clapping.
Yeah, and you're like you have no choice but to feel it too.
Holy clap.
Holy clap. And then, but like if you're like, let's say you're playing your keyboard and it's like hooked up to your laptop, and then you're like editing it and stuff to create like a very specific sound. Like maybe people think like, oh, it's just like that's the goal, is to like create the sound rather than the feeling.
Yeah.
Like all you can really do, or like the distinguishing factor between clappers is the feeling you get from the clap. But then like the distinguishing factor between like certain instrumentalists or something is like the sound. But the sound gives you a feeling, and that's why you choose the certain sounds, I think. It's because you get the feeling associated with the sound.
Yeah. You want to try something?
Sure.
I'm going to clap, and then you're going to clap, and then our listeners are going to comment in and see which one made them feel better.
All right.
Okay, here I go. Oh, I feel like you did better than me.
I don't know. You could see me, though.
Yeah. You had a lot more enthusiasm. Let me try again. Write in, friends. Tell us which one made you feel the best. I wanted to bring something up. Since it is philosophy and we're talking about music, a philosopher and mathematician, Pythagoras, you know about him. He has a pretty famous theorem.
Yeah.
He had this idea of music of the spheres, which I don't really remember a ton about, but I think it was like the planets in their orbits, and that movement creates music that is like above human comprehension. But the concept is more or less musical. Like we can't I guess hear the music, but it is music. What do you think about that?
It gets me thinking about like what music is. Like, is music sound, or is it like the organization of sound? It's rhythm,
Yeah.
and life has like a rhythm. Like, rhythm is kind of like timing, and I guess like a lot of things are. Comedy is timing is like a huge percent of it. Probably like 90%.
I think Thomas told me this joke a few weeks ago. Maybe he was like, "I've always kind of wanted to try stand up, but there was just always one thing I couldn't get: timing."
Oh my god. That's
And
great.
that sums up some of that, I think. I like that. But John Cage, famous, I think, 20th century composer, he's the one that wrote 4 minutes and 33 seconds. You know about this piece? It can be played, it doesn't matter really which instrument. You just kind of go up on stage and then you're like at your instrument, either bass. I saw it on bass guitar one time. Piano is mostly what it's done. But you just sit there for 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Wow.
Without playing anything. And I think it's in 3 movements, which is really interesting. And there was a debate for a long time, I think, over whether or not that it is the sound of the room is what you're listening to, or if it's silence, like what the piece is actually. And I think he came out with another piece where like maybe he just like had a microphone in the room.
Wow.
And that was like the sound of the room. So it's like, that's not what that piece was. So, because that's what that is. I don't know. It was interesting. So is that music? That's the debate.
I don't know if I can answer that directly, but
yeah.
The thing that struck me the most from that was like the 3 movements. So like, I guess I don't really know what a movement is in music, but like how I like picture it is like on the paper, it's like here's the movement, here's the other movement, and the other movement.
Yeah.
And then like they're different like feelings or like sections of the song.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that would, like, for me, if I was watching that, I think my attitude towards it would have at least 3 movements. Like, one would be like, I'm just waiting for him to do what he's going to do. Yeah. And then the second one would be like, is this it? And then the third one would be like when I realize that it's it. And either I'm willing to like appreciate it or I'm kind of angry. And maybe that's the music.
The emotional response.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that take because I think a lot, I don't know, I think music is very closely tied with emotion, and it more or less is like a language used to convey emotion. And I hadn't thought about that in relation to 433. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I guess like we talked about how like clapping, like you see it and you hear it and like you feel the rhythm of the clapping. You can like feel it.
Yeah.
Like how it relates to everything. And then like with like a guitar sound or like a bassoon or even a whoopee cushion.
Oh.
That gives you certain feelings. And like I guess all of those depend on like who the person is. Like it's all like a subjective response.
Yeah.
And like even silence warrants a subjective response.
I think one should be careful when defining music as like the emotional response, because you can have emotional responses to like we were just talking about just about anything.
Yeah.
So
I think
what-
that's a piece of it, though.
yeah,
It's not
it
what
should
music
be.
is, but
Maybe it's the emotional response to organized sound, because organized sound is a
do you think the
definition
emotional
I've heard
response is the goal of music? Not necessarily the music, but
before. I think it should be.
okay.
I don't think it always is, but that's just my personal take. Because if you're just clanging two spoons together in a bathroom with nobody to hear you, what's the point?
For you, for the spoon clanger.
Interesting. The emotional response of the person playing the music.
Well, is that music, though? Like, if you were just clanging spoons.
In a bathroom.
Because, like, when I'm clanging spoons, I'm probably, like, doing it to, like, along to whatever is going on in my head.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Like, a lot of times I'll just be tapping on stuff or just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know? And, like, maybe the real music is what is in my mind that's coming out via these various tools.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a lot of stuff we just unpacked.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Is there time for more? Or?
Yeah. You know, whatever.
One thing I did today
Yeah.
was I was talking to one of my friends about Jimi Hendrix and how I think that like his guitar playing was like an expression of his inner chaos. Because like I read on Wikipedia that like he was in the military and he had to he wrote home and said like send my guitar because I need it now more than ever. So I think like it was an outlet for him. And then I was like thinking about how like all along the Watchtower is a Bob Dylan song, but like the Hendrix version is a lot more well known. And I think because like the people at the time could connect with that like inner chaos. And then my friend asked me, he's like, he played a section of it and he's like, tell me what you think he's feeling when he's playing this. And I said, well, after like trying to stumble through my thoughts, I was just like, I don't think you can't say what he's feeling. He can't say what he's feeling. That's why he's playing it on the guitar.
Dang. That's a good answer.
Thanks. So I think like even like playing music is like a feeling or it's a product of an emotional response. It can be. So maybe like that's probably where like the Skrillex school of music comes from. It's like I can't like play what I'm feeling on a guitar. I have to make like a blam, 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 bam, bam, bam,
yeah.
sound. So that's what I have in my head. So
yeah. Dang. Bringing it full circle. I like that. Well, you want to move on?
sure.
It's Thyroid Thursday.
Oh yeah.
The thyroid is
Talking about the organ and not steroids for your thighs.
Thyroids Thursday. I don't really know where my thyroid is. Like I couldn't point to it. Is it here?
I think it's like in your neck somewhere. Like I don't know like where exactly.
Do you think you can like touch your thyroid, or is it deeper?
I don't know if you're like supposed to be able to. But if it's like swollen or something.
Oh.
At least that's my understanding.
Does swollen thyroids mean you have cancer? Because I feel
No.
like that's a thing.
You could have like hyper or hypothyroidism.
Dang. That's a $2 word. Well, that was some
Yeah,
good Thyroid Thursday.
I think I said this last Thyroid Thursday, but there was a period of time where I was convinced I had like a thyroid problem.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And then like I went to the doctor. I didn't even bring it up. But just the fact that like I didn't get diagnosed with a thyroid problem was enough for me to just completely forget about it.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you ever feel like a hypochondriac?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Once in a while I get that way. Like, my chest will feel weird, and I'm like, well, I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah. The bitch of it is like heart attack and panic attack symptoms are very similar.
Yeah.
So there was a period of time where I'd have panic attacks at work, and I'd just be like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack, I'm gonna die. I'm not panicking during
that doesn't help a panic attack. Oy.
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
It's the attack and then the panic.
Attack, panic, attack.
That's probably a good characteristic of an attacker. It's like the heart attack crap is like a decoy, and the panic just sneaks in.
Dang.
And you don't even see it as, like, the panic comes as a friend, because it's like, of course I'm going to be panicking. I need to get to the ER and survive. Like, you're not just going to, like, feel heart attack symptoms and brush them off.
Yeah.
It's like panic herd you being like, man, I'm sick of panicking. I'm going to stay calm from now on. Then it, like, gives you a heart attack, and it's like, you need me now, don't you?
Dang.
Like, oh yeah, I need some panic.
Panic is weird. One time I had a tweet that I think about sometimes called Panic at the Chipotle line.
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
And it was just panic, exclamation point like the band.
Yeah.
At the Chipotle line.
Wow.
Like
That's probably my favorite tweet of yours.
Thanks. I like my tweets, but some of them are real garbage.
Yeah. I haven't tweeted in probably a year at least.
Dang. I think I tweeted a couple days ago. Oh, I tweeted twice in one day the other day. The first one was on that Lord Farquaad energy. Which doesn't make, I don't know. Maybe that's something. I could show you a song called Lord Farquaad that I found. It's really dope. And that got me thinking about it. And then the other one was, Ronald Reagan, asterisk, giving fashion advice, asterisk, quote.
Oh my god.
Mr. Gorbachev, ellipsis, wear brown this fall, period, quote.
Oh my god.
What do you think about that?
I don't know if I'm smart enough to understand it.
The
way I interpreted it is he's a Russian, right?
Gorbachev?
Yeah. And that's the Soviet Union?
I think it was in Berlin.
Oh. Well, the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
Was it like a pun on like a fall in autumn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wear brown this fall. That's what's trendy.
Yeah, that's okay. I got it.
And the famous quote is "Tear down this wall."
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a famous quote where Reagan, like at the falling of the Berlin Wall, he's like, Mr. Gorbachev, he says it twice. Tear down this wall. So yeah, wear brown this fall. I thought it was kind of funny. Not a lot of people got it, I think.
Yeah. It's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
But
Nothing's funnier than explaining a joke.
yeah.
Anyway, let's get to one of my favorite segments on this show. Called... There's a picture on my phone, and it's for you to look at and explain. I like giving you a couple ones, so I'm just gonna pull up a first one, and then you're gonna have a second one.
All right.
All right, this one is so good.
I don't know if I have one for you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
We haven't talked about this.
Yeah, that's kind of funny how we haven't.
Yeah.
You'd think like this would be the first thing.
Yeah.
I feel like my parents, like whenever I hang out with friends or something,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, how are they? What are they up to? Or I don't know how to answer because it's like I didn't even bring that up.
Yeah.
And like this is one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, what did Ryan think of the other night? I'm like, what do you mean? What other night?
Yeah.
So when this was in December.
Yes.
So I had gone back to Omaha for Christmas break or winter break or whatever you want to call it, December break.
Yeah.
And Ryan texts me. It's like, so do you want to? He says I'll be in town until
I think I said Thursday.
Thursday. This was like a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I thought he meant Omaha for some reason. And so I said, yeah, like we can do the podcast. And so then I was like, I'm on my way to her house. And so then I go up there, I get to his house, or his parents' house, or
Yeah.
whatever you want to say, in Omaha. And his dad answers the door. He's like, Ross, wow. Come on in. There's no Ryan here. And then I explained to them what happened. And then I went up to the kitchen, had a cookie.
Yeah.
Had
they said.
Conversation for a little bit. And left.
Dang.
It was...
And I was in Colorado.
Yeah.
Hours away. The whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it really went as good as it could have gone.
You got a cookie out of
You
it.
couldn't have asked for a better misunderstanding, honestly.
That's nice.
I'm kind of glad it happened. It's hilarious.
It was really funny when my parents were telling me about it. All right, I got another one for you. Oh, this is perfect for what we're talking about today.
Oh, great. Oh my god. I don't even know where to begin here. This is a picture of our 7th grade basketball team.
Yep.
I think it's funny how I'm kind of like the chubbiest one in the picture.
Well, you got chubby cheeks.
Yeah. I'm wearing a gray, it's like an actual, like, a little bit too big of a t-shirt under my jersey.
Yeah. I wasn't wearing anything under mine. Do you think they coordinated the symmetry of you in a t-shirt and Anthony?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that at the time. I have such a fear of, like, pictures like this where you, like, choreograph it beforehand.
Yeah.
I hate it. This is insane.
Yeah.
It's weird how, like all of these people are, like, on the same team.
Mm.
And now, like, we couldn't even be more different.
That's crazy.
Like, Anthony's in the military now in Kuwait.
Dang.
I don't even know what Joe's doing.
I think he went to film school.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't even know. He did.
Yeah, I think Evan's been partying at Pepperdine.
Even, not even, the,
Nate has a kid.
like, the geography of the, that's not even the only difference. I think, even if we were still on the same team,
Yeah.
and you took this picture, there'd be so much more individual personality.
Yeah. Yeah. That was...
We were so impressionable. We were in a cult, just following each other's lead.
Dang. That's really one of my favorite parts about college is just kind of becoming who you are.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas back then, you're just kind of a bunch of weird pubescent.
Yeah.
Pre-pubescent. I was
Yeah.
Evan was for sure pubescent. I don't know. But speaking of stage photos, I just want to show you one more. I'm sorry. I love this so much. So maybe I can explain it, but I want to show you it. Because there's... Where is it? Oh, here it is. Well, you explain what's going on in the picture, and then I'll tell you why.
You have Ryan in a tuxedo. You look pretty good, by the way. He's holding looks like a piece of wood.
Yep.
And it, says... It's dark wood and then lighter wood.
No.
Okay,
that's
never
actually
mind.
a watermark.
Okay, a watermark. On the
on
picture.
The photo, yeah.
Oh my god. That makes it even better. Because at first it's oh, he won an award or something, and it's just a weird trophy.
No.
But,
it's just a piece of wood.
Yeah. You look pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I was excited to take a picture with a piece of plywood. It was fun. So, this was several weeks ago at the CMEA conference, the Colorado Music Educators Association, where our university band played. And I'm at the percussion section, and one of the songs we played involved me taking a chain and just dropping it on a piece of plywood a bunch of times.
Wow.
And so for the pictures, we took a big group picture and then individual pictures for each instrumentalist. And they said, bring your instrument to the picture. And so I was carrying around this 3 foot by 2.5 foot piece of plywood through this building so I could take a picture with it. And that's what the picture is.
I wouldn't have expected anything less from you.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about it.
How do you feel that relates to our earlier discussion about music? The dropping of a chain.
Oh, yeah. I think it served... The piece was called Ireland, and it was maybe about people walking with chains on. So it was more of a sound effect incorporated into music. Yeah. What do you think?
Just confuses me.
Yeah.
The terminology, it was a sound effect incorporated into music. I agree.
It sounds right, but then what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Where do you draw the line?
Maybe we're talking about the blurred lines.
Okay. The sound effect incorporated into music and the blurred lines. Remember when we went to Johnny Ray Gomez's studio?
Yeah.
And he showed us that jingle he made for Intertech.
Yeah.
And he's I ripped this off from Blurred Lines. And it was Blurred Lines played with drills and car horns and stuff you would hear in a collision center.
Dang.
So I'd argue that's sound effects, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think
incorporate it into music.
sound? Yeah, yeah. Like there's a band I like to listen to, and on a lot of their tracks they just have bird noises. It's interesting. You should look them up. Beatenberg.
Beatenberg?
Beatenberg. Beatenburg. That could be a fun segment. Music recommendations.
Yeah.
That's mine for this week. What do you got?
Well, what do you want to hear? What are you curious about?
No, What's been your jam today?
Today?
Yeah.
I think Vance Joy's Georgia.
Oh,
It's been my jam today.
nice.
I've been getting into like folk a lot more
Dang.
for some reason. It's like folk or it's like electronic.
I find that I like a lot of like oblique folk. That doesn't make any sense.
Like Bon Iver.
I guess it's like not folk, but it's like something plus folk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like, I don't know, jazz plus folk, or rock, soft rock plus folk, but not like straight up just banjos and
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't listen to banjos.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like banjos. I think like as soon as I hear a banjo, like I instantly like put it in a box
Yeah.
and I criticize it from that.
I just think of just like walking past a saloon in Old West.
It's like it immediately like loses anything outside of the banjo. It's like, oh, that's a song with a banjo in it.
Yeah. Same with like bagpipes.
Yeah.
Bagpipes just dominate.
I'd argue that the saxophone does too.
Interesting.
I once said
I think the oboe does.
that the saxophone is the pickle of instruments. Or it's the other way around. The pickle is a saxophone of toppings. And I was trying to say that, like, when it's there, it just overpowers everything.
Yeah. Unless it's the main course.
Yeah,
It's distracting.
If you're eating a fried pickle,
Yeah.
I love fried pickles.
It's fine.
I'll listen to a saxophone solo.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be, like, listening to something and then all of a sudden the saxophone comes in. Because then that's all I hear.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we've been going for quite a while.
Yeah.
Nearly twice as long as any other episode.
That's fine with me.
I like it too.
I honestly was thinking earlier today that, like, when it ends, I'm like, oh man, I feel like I really get lost in the moment.
Yeah.
Doing this,
No, that's
and then
fun.
like, it always ends so abruptly.
Do you think anybody has listened this far into the episode?
Like live, I don't think anyone's listening live.
Well, nobody is. I'm recording it onto GarageBand.
Oh,
But, like,
dude, I don't know.
in the future, somebody's listening to this, and my words are going into their ears right now in the future.
I don't. Usually, when I tell people about this, they'll try to look it up.
Yeah.
And then they'll listen to some of it, and then they'll do that thing where they like skip into the. That makes me mad. Not necessarily.
It's all just as bad.
Yeah, not necessarily for the podcast, but I was trying to show Rush, the band,
Oh, yeah.
to my roommate who had never heard them before, and he like picks a song and he like skips into the middle, and it was just like, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, this is crap."
That.
And like, it makes sense when you're listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like with a podcast, even not necessarily ours,
Yeah.
because it's like I feel like they'll jump into like a random point in the conversation and be lost. Be like, "Well, this is dumb," or it's like some inside joke reference to an earlier point.
Yeah.
And then you give up on it.
Yeah, that's not cool.
But yeah, I totally understand why people wouldn't want to listen to this. And to be honest, I don't like I'm not really like trying to get a bunch of listeners.
Yeah,
I think the beauty of this is it's a very clean break from the madness in my head, the madness in my mind.
Yeah. It's cathartic.
Yeah.
You get to cathart a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to cathart. I honestly just want to say cathart a couple more times.
Yeah, we have total like creative control over this.
Yeah.
I feel like listeners would, like, even though we don't have to change,
yeah,
it'd be like, how do we stay the same? Like, if they're liking what we do, then it's like, well, now we're defined to that.
Yeah.
Or we're defined, not defined, but like confined.
Yeah.
To like improvement.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to take risks.
That's true. I like what we've got going on.
Yeah.
I propose to close out that in light of our conversation today, we do not use conventional instruments for our outro music.
All right.
I'm gonna use this cup, and I'm gonna put these glasses frames inside the glass cup, and it's gonna be my instrument. What do you got?
I'm going to play this defense foam and use the pencil. Try to create like a washboard effect.
Cool. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The eraser fell off.
Oh no.